I kept silly things like Mick Jagger called, please call him tonight. And there's a number, and then Michael Hutchins called, Four Seasons Hotel, under the name Fred Flintstone. That was his alias. Okay, I went to art school in a place called Watford, which is just outside, Watford Art School, which is just outside of London, in 1976, right at the birth of punk rock. And I threw myself into this thinking that there was going to be like a lot of people like myself there, and I started with a friend, and really he and I were the only ones that were into this punk thing, until I met Paul from The Clash, and so I went to art school, he went to art school, and he said, oh, you should do one of our record covers. And it was just as simple as that. You know, I've always been lucky that my firsts have always been really good firsts. My first record cover was The Clash. My first album cover was Dexter's Midnight Runners, which is a thing into itself. When I moved to New York, I got to work with Bob Dylan and Iggy Pop. So I've always been lucky, and there's luck does come into that. A lot of luck, being in the right place comes into it, and having the right attitude, because I wasn't classically trained. So I made the most of what my limitations were, and it became a thing. And the Iggy Pop thing then led into doing the INXS thing. We kind of talked a little bit. I said, yo, I'd love to do your record cover. You know, I think I've got an idea for it. I think I know what I can take you guys to the next level. Somehow I got this feeling this is going to be something special. And I just remember being in the studio, and I would listen to the guys talking to the band. I would eavesdrop on stuff and pick up a vibe and see what it was they wanted. And I was absolutely determined on what it should be. And it should be, this is an international band. This is not a Sydney band. This is not an Australian band. And this band could be from New York or from London or from Berlin or wherever it was. I knew that I wanted to build this fake, forced perspective of it appearing like the band were all standing together. But I also wanted it to mess with people's psychology on it, because it obviously wasn't. And it looks real, but somehow it's not real. That I love. So I wanted everyone to look good on it. But I thought half of Michael, it gave a little bit of mystery to him. Like, was he bald on the other side? I mean, did he have like a Quasimodo face? So what I did was I played around by cutting things out, and I played around and moved things around. That final touch was the skateboard, because it had the empty space above it, and then I was going to put boom beacon in the middle that says what it is, because I was still in the days when the record labels insisted that they had the title on the top of the packaging, but they're still using that logo on T-shirts and everything to this day. And you know what, I've got to say, it doesn't really date. It's funny, it dates, but it doesn't date.